All right, everybody, welcome back to the Klaczynski Open 2013. We are at round 5 here of 7. This is going to be the final round from day 1 here in Tinley Park, Illinois. And we're going to have a star-studded matchup for the final round of the game. Couldn't think of a better way to end day 1. We're going to have Ross Cawthon, 2-time Worlds finalist, one of the game's legendary players, going up against perhaps the most popular Pokemon player, Josh Wittenkeller. You might know him better as JWittz. Both of these players are 4-0 heading into round number 5, and we should have an incredible matchup here. From what I've heard, this is going to be a Blastoise mirror match. So it's going to be hard-hitting, fast-paced, back and forth. Well, as fast as Ross can be. Sorry, I don't want to joke about that too much. But, yeah. All right. Anyway, let's jump right into the match. All right, so it's going to be Ross on the left, Josh on the right with his wonderful Magikarp t-shirt. And yes, it's going to be a Blastoise mirror match. So it should be exciting, you know. Both of these decks do incredible amounts of damage. Looks like our tripod was bumped into again, but that's all right. We can still see the game. Yeah, what can you say about a Blastoise mirror match? Honestly, there's no simple way to put it. I guess you could say the first person to get Blastoise has the advantage. But really, it's more like the first person to miss a turn of attacking is at the disadvantage. It's kind of hard to put into words. Basically, these guys are going to be trading blows back and forth. Both of them have that Black Kyurem EX, the Black Ballista, 200 damage. And they're just going to be getting one-hit knockouts back and forth. And they're going to start playing that card N. They're going to disrupt each other. And it might just come down to who blinks first, who misses their superior energy retrieval to attack with Black Ballista on the following turn. All sorts of little things can go wrong in between. But I don't know. It's going to be an exciting matchup for sure. And definitely these are two of the best players we have in the tournament. Most popular players for sure. And I'm really excited to see these guys both 4-0 at this point. The winner is almost guaranteed a spot in the top cut. It'll be a top 8 cut, though. So X and 2 definitely is not guaranteed to make it, but a 5-0 start definitely have a big advantage. You know, the players that start 5-0 certainly seem like they would be the ones that would make it in an X and 2 if anyone does. So we have some announcements. This actually will be the last round of the day. So it's the best 2 out of 3, 75 minutes. And I'm sure this matchup will take almost all 75 minutes if it goes to 3 games. We're going to be back tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Central Time to resume the tournament. But this is the last round for today, so I hope we can end it on a high note. These two players shake hands. They do have a history with each other. They both played each other in high-level tournament matches before. Ross actually lost to Josh at the 2011 World Championships in the Swiss rounds. That year where he took second place with the Truth. Josh destroyed him in the Swiss rounds. Of course, Josh made top 8 at that World Championships. And then at this year's Illinois State Championships, Ross got his revenge, knocking Josh out of the top 16 with a Garbodor deck versus Josh's Darkrai deck. So we're going to see who's going to win the rubber match here. Who's going to take home the big one and go 5-0 here at the Klaczynski Open. And it looks like we're all set to go here. Josh will go first with his Squirtle versus the Keldeo EX of Ross. I'm eager to see what is actually in these guys' lists. Every Blastoise deck is a little bit different. Most of them are pretty much similar. But, you know, there could be little things like Execute. That's usually the big one, honestly. None of the other cards actually matter in a Blastoise mirror match. The heavy Blastoise line could be a factor. Otherwise, number of Black Kyurem EX could be a factor, I suppose. Those are really the big things. Oh, no. We see a chorus for 0 from Josh. A chorus for 0. Oh, no. But he does have the Tropical Beach in play. So he can draw a fresh hand of 7. Oh, man. I have never seen a chorus for 0 before. But hey, if his hand was that bad, like if he just had a lot of junk and even Tropical Beach wouldn't help him, Josh fakes drawing his 0 cards. He's going to Tropical Beach refill to 7. Maybe that was just actually the best option for him. Pro play from Josh there. Chorus for 0, and then draw 7. So this is quite a way to start this match. Both these guys have pretty distinct personalities. You know, Josh is an entertainer for sure. Everybody knows him for his YouTube videos and such. He's also a very good player. And Ross, you know, kind of a more reserved player. Kind of expresses himself through rogue decks a lot. He's been responsible for a lot of those wacky rogue creations over the years. But this time it looks like he's just going for a standard Blastoise deck. You know, sometimes he comes up with rogue decks, but he always just plays the deck he feels gives him the best chance of winning. Now, whether that's just a standard archetype or whether that's a rogue deck, it doesn't matter. He just always tries to find ways to win. That's what's most important to him. I've actually been given Ross's list here, so I can actually take a look at what's in here. It doesn't look like anything special. Just a standard Blastoise list, no execute, 2 Black Kyurem EX, and that's really about it. Nothing else out of the ordinary. Just your standard 4 rare candy, your Blastoise line, your Keldeos. So pretty vanilla, which is strange to see from Ross, but I mean, obviously it's working for him, otherwise he wouldn't be playing it. We're going to see a heavy ball here, and he's going to get a Black Kyurem EX. With that, he gets to search for a Pokemon with a 3 retreat cost or more. Black Kyurem EX, of course, has a 3 retreat cost. You normally just play it for Blastoise. You can search for the Blastoise, which has a 4 retreat cost. But you can grab Black Kyurem EX as well, which is pretty nice. Now, Ross is going to play as many cards as he can. And, oh, just a Tropical Beach. Not a very good start for Ross here. No Squirtle in play. Josh will have a definite opportunity here to take the advantage. Maybe get the first big attack here if he can get a turn 2 Blastoise. And we are going to see a Skyla from Josh. We'll see how well he drew off of his Tropical Beach for 7 fresh cards. I'm not sure. Now he's going to search for a trainer card with this Skyla. What will he search for? If he has a Blastoise in hand, the choice seems pretty obvious. He'll go for a rare candy, and there is a rare candy. So we're going to see a turn 2 Blastoise. Now, what will he get with this turn 2 Blastoise? Will he actually get an attack off? Who knows? That's a lot of cards to have off of just a 7-card hand. He's actually going to rare candy right into Blastoise. And does he have an attacker to follow this up? Looks like I see a Keldeo EX in his hand. So yep, he's going to go ahead and put that down. Deluge 1 water onto Keldeo. And we'll probably just see a Tropical Beach. It'd be pretty unlikely for him to have 3 water energy in his hand. There's no water energy in the discard pile. Interesting that Josh decided to just rare candy right into Blastoise, leaving the energy on his active. He could have retreated the energy off of the Squirtle to put the energy in the discard pile so that later he could play a superior energy retrieval to get that back. Normally, you don't really attack with Blastoise, so you don't really want the energy on the Blastoise, but it may not end up making a difference. And who knows, maybe he will attack with Blastoise. I've seen it before. Sometimes it could be really nice to finish off an EX that has already been hit by Secret Sword. That way you don't have to use an EX Pokemon to finish off one of your opponent's EX Pokemon. That way you just have a 1 prize attacker in the fray. Hydro Pump is actually a pretty solid attack. Does 100 damage for 4 water energy. So maybe we'll see that come into play at some point. So we're probably going to see a rush in from Keldeo EX, and yep, brings it from the bench to the active spot, and then a Tropical Beach drawing 6 cards. Very strong start from Josh. You know, he did not get that turn 2 Secret Sword or turn 2 Black Ballista that you're hoping for. But he doesn't need it in this situation because Ross doesn't even have a Squirtle out. He cannot even get his own Blastoise into play. And now Josh has the opportunity next turn to still get the first big attack of the game off. Maybe with a Secret Sword, ideally with a Black Ballista with Black Kyurem EX. But we'll see what happens. Now, of course, this Blastoise deck revolves around Blastoise. It has that Deluge ability, which allows you to attach as many water energy as you want during your turn to your Pokemon. Usually the limitation is 1 energy per turn from your hand, but with Blastoise in play, you can attach as many water as you want as once. So that allows you to fuel these big attackers, Keldeo EX, Black Kyurem EX, which normally are very expensive attackers. Secret Sword takes 3 energy to attack, and Black Ballista takes 4 energy to attack. Very expensive. Normally this would take 3 or 4 turns to power these things up. And then Black Ballista, you have to discard 3 energy when you use that attack. So normally these Pokemon just would be terrible. You know, just attacking wise they would not be very good. But since you have Blastoise, you can keep refueling the energy every turn. You can do 200 damage with Black Kyurem EX's Black Ballista, discard the 3 energy, then play a superior energy retrieval to get 4 energy back from your discard pile and continually, you know, just use that Black Ballista attack. And it's all made possible because of Blastoise. Alright, so now we've seen Ultra Ball, and I couldn't tell. An interesting thing to note about this tournament, all versions of Tropical Beach were legal for this tournament. You don't just have to have the English version. Since this is an unsanctioned tournament, you know, an independent event, Jason Klaczynski, the organizer of this tournament, actually decided, you know what, Tropical Beach is pretty difficult to obtain, and for this tournament we're going to allow any language Tropical Beach, and we'll also allow any World Championship Tropical Beaches, such as Ross Cawthon's deck. In 2011, he ran a Tropical Beach in his deck, which was printed in his Worlds deck. That is actually legal, and I think I saw Ross put one of those into his discard pile with Ultra Ball. So he's playing his own World Championship Tropical Beach. Alright, so you do see 2 Squirtle come down for Ross, and now we're going to see JWittz is going to go ahead and deluge 2 energy onto the Keldeo EX. He may go for a Pokemon catcher here, try to get out a Squirtle, knock it out with Secret Sword. And we'll see what he does here. Now, going after Blastoise in this mirror match can be very hit or miss. And he's going to go for the Pokemon catcher on the Squirtle. Now, if you can take your opponent's Blastoise out of play, obviously that's a very strong maneuver. You know, you can just take away their whole energy acceleration, and while you still have it in play, you're going to be at the big advantage. But what can happen is if you go for these single prize knockouts, and your opponent just knocks out 3 straight EXs of yours, you lose the race. Your opponent takes 6 prizes first, because they take 2 prizes on each of your EX Pokemon. So it's very hit or miss. If you take out all their Squirtles, then you just win because they don't have energy acceleration. But if they manage to get a Blastoise into play and they start knocking out your EXs, or you run out of Pokemon catchers so you can't bring out the Blastoise or the Squirtle anymore, then this blows up in your face and your opponent just can easily come back. So will Josh get any more energy down into play? He can play as many as he has. He's limited to that 1 lightning energy per turn, but he can play as many water energy as he wants every turn. So if he has extra ones, he may want to play them here, maybe onto the Black Kyurem EX. Seems like he does have a few in his hand. So there we go. We're going to see Deluge, and a 3rd. Oh my goodness. Now, that's actually crazy because if he had not used a Pokemon catcher on that Squirtle, he would have been able to attach all of those energy to the active Keldeo, and then Secret Sword for 170 damage and knock out Ross's Keldeo EX. And he would have taken a quick 2-prize lead, and that might have been more devastating than knocking out the Squirtle. But again, why would you expect to draw 3 additional energy off of a chorus for 7? You really wouldn't. So he just kind of got lucky there and then almost got unlucky for playing the catcher. But oh well. At least he's got 6 energy in play turn 3. That's not bad. How will Ross respond here? He definitely needs to get a Blastoise out immediately. Does he have the cards to do it though? Looks like he's taking his time, looking to see what he wants to discard. He's going to discard a Tropical Beach and a Skyla. And here comes Blastoise. Gonna have an Ultra Ball for that Blastoise. I assume Ross has a rare candy in his hand. He did discard one with the previous Ultra Ball before he used Tropical Beach, so I assume there's another one sitting in his hand. So we'll probably see Ross get his own Blastoise, and will he be able to respond with an EX knockout this turn, perhaps using Black Ballista? It's probably what he wants to do here. It looks like he has a catcher, and he's deciding not to play it. Ross is going for the 6 prize game and 3 attacks. Knock out 3 EXs to win. That is what his game plan is. But can he pull it off? This is going to be a tough task. I don't think he has any water energy in the discard pile. So in order to get a knockout, we're playing an N here. So Ross is going to shuffle in and draw 6. Josh will shuffle in and draw 5. They both draw equal to the number of prizes they have. He'll need a lightning energy, a water energy, and then either 2 more water or some form of energy retrieval. That's a lot of stuff to ask for off an N to 6. Boom, man, but I see it all. It's all in his hand, folks. He has the lightning energy, the water energy, and an energy retrieval off of this N to 6. He can use Black Ballista this turn if he wishes to do so. Now the question is, does he want to do it? If he does do that, he takes the first 2 prizes. He takes the lead in the game. But he leaves himself very vulnerable to a Pokemon catcher from Josh. If Josh can catch out the Blastoise and Black Ballista that Blastoise, then Ross is left with no Blastoise in play. And that's not a pretty situation to be in. But it looks like he's going to rush in with the Keldeo. And he's going for it, folks. He's going to go for this Black Ballista. That is an incredible draw off of this N to 6. He's going to retreat, energy retrieval, play the Lightning, deluge 3 water energy on a Black Kyurem. And that is a ridiculous turn for Ross, and I don't think Josh could have expected that one. So now Ross will take the lead at 4 prizes to 5. And will Josh have the cards to respond here? Now he's going to need just a Pokemon catcher and a lightning energy. And he'll take a big lead in this game. He's going to play an energy search here, which will fetch him the lightning energy, assuming there's one in his deck. And it looks like there is. Of course, Black Ballista takes 1 lightning energy, 2 water energy, and then a colorless energy of any type. So 4 energy total, but you do need 2 water and a lightning to fulfill the attack cost. So the lightning energy is usually the tough one to get. He gets it there with the energy search. And now will he have a Pokemon catcher this turn to really turn the tide? I think if Josh gets the Pokemon catcher here, knocks out the Blastoise with Black Ballista, that would be his best route. Does he have it though? If he doesn't, he's just going to have to be content with Black Ballista on the active Black Kyurem EX. He'll take 2 prizes, and Ross may not have a follow-up knockout, so that may not be the worst thing in the world. But I think he would prefer the catcher if he had one. So let's see what Josh takes with his Ultra Ball. We may see a second Black Kyurem EX if he has one, or a Keldeo EX. Both are fine options. And he's getting ready for the Black Kyurem War. He's going to take a second one this turn. And honestly, Black Kyurem EX is the big thing in this matchup. And actually, Josh is going to play an N here. He discarded a Juniper with that. Looks like he's favoring disrupting Ross more than anything. He's already got the lightning energy. So it's a tough decision. Do you disrupt your opponent a little bit, draw 2 less cards, or do you play the Juniper there, try to hit the Pokemon catcher, and knock out the Blastoise? But Josh chose to go with the N in this situation. This will be a huge draw off this 5 cards. A lot of Blastoise decks don't play 4 Pokemon catcher. They play 3, sometimes even 2. So it's not probably too likely that he draws a Pokemon catcher off these 5 cards. Even if he doesn't, though, a Black Ballista on the active is a huge turn. Ross is going to need to draw extremely well to respond to this Black Ballista. Oh, but he got the Pokemon catcher. That is such a huge play in this game. Out comes Blastoise, and we even have a deluge for another water energy on the Black Ballista. These guys are running hot. They are going at each other, and Blastoise goes down. The Gambit pays off for JWittz, takes down the Squirtle, and then the Blastoise. Now Ross is left with no energy acceleration in play. He has no way to attach multiple energy in a turn, and he's stuck with just one energy left in play. So Josh has taken a big lead in this game, even though it's tied at 4 prizes each. He's definitely the player in the lead now. Now there's some things Ross can do to maybe buy some time. If he has a Pokemon catcher of his own, maybe he can bring out Blastoise. And Blastoise has a 4 retreat cost. Josh does not have a Keldeo EX in play. So if Ross can get a Squirtle down this play a Pokemon catcher, maybe stall for a turn, he could buy the turn he needs to get back into the game. But definitely Josh has the advantage here. If he can just get 2 more Black Ballistas off on those EX Pokemon, he wins this game. Now keep in mind it is a best 2 out of 3 75-minute series, so you have to win 2 games to win the round. Even if Josh wins this first game, it's not over. Now we do see a computer search from Ross. He's going to discard a Water and a Black Kyurem EX. We'll see what he goes for here. I did see a Professor Juniper and a Squirtle in his hand as well, so a very nice draw off of that end. Both these guys are drawn pretty well, I would say. And when Blastoise draws well, I think it's hard to argue that it's just the best deck. When you get to play all your energy down and use these ridiculously strong attackers, Blastoise is the best deck. It's just most of the time it doesn't happen. Wow, 2 Squirtles. Okay, there's a Juniper. So he is back on track, and now Josh, he bought himself some time with the Blastoise knockout strategy. But now he really needs to focus down 2 EXs to win this game. Can he do that? Now Ross will not be able to attack this turn, definitely will not be able to attack. Will he have a Pokemon catcher, though, to maybe stall for a turn? And if he can't, I mean, it's an easy Black Ballista knockout for Josh. And we're at advantage Josh for sure. He can Black Ballista for the knockout. We see a second Lightning Energy go down on the Black Kyurem EX. And we'll probably just see a Tropical Beach, which will fill Ross's hand up to 7, and he'll pass his turn. What is Josh's response going to be here? If he has the energy, he's obviously just going to knock out the active, take his 2 prizes, and then it's just 1 more Black Ballista, and Josh will win this first game. Now, of course, anything can happen, and oh, he's taking a Pokemon catcher with this Skyla. That's the 3rd Pokemon catcher, so we know he plays at least 3. I think he's targeting down the Black Kyurem EX this turn. Seems like what he wants to do with this. Maybe he has that superior energy retrieval in hand already, and he does. There it is, discarding a Tropical Beach and another Tropical Beach. And he's getting back 3 water and a 4th water. Okay. So he will be able to catch out Ross's Black Kyurem EX. He's going to force Ross to have, a Keldeo EX with 7 energy to do something about this. So now it's an interesting decision on where Josh wants to put this energy. I think he needs to attach them. He can't just sit on them in his hand. He needs to put them down this turn. If he doesn't, he is open to Ross now playing a catcher and then knocking out his Blastoise. So I think Josh is realizing this. He's just saying, all right, let's just go for it. I'm attaching all my energy to this active Black Kyurem. Let's gamble. If you got a knockout on it, all right, I'll accept it. But then I could still superior energy retrieval to win. Now, though, if you catcher my Blastoise, I just have to attach 1 energy and I Black Ballista for the game. So that was a huge turn for Josh. He has really set himself up very well. And I don't know, is he going to be able to close this game out? What does Ross get off of this? Now he's already played 2 Rare Candy to his discard pile. Well, there's the 3rd. Blastoise comes back out. He will have some options. He did discard his 2nd Black Kyurem EX. He only plays 2 in his deck, so that will no longer be an option for him. Keldeo EX will be his only attacker the rest of the way unless he wants to use Blastoise or Squirtle, I suppose. Maybe a Water Splash in here somewhere. But it's just going to be Keldeo, basically, for the rest of the game. Now, what can Ross go for here, though? There are a few things he can do. Number 1, he could try to get that 7 energy Keldeo. Secret Sword the active Black Kyurem EX. Try to win that way. If he can do that, he probably should. Second option is to just leave Squirtle active and then Tropical Beach until you can get the 7 energy Keldeo. Because Josh has already played 3 Pokemon Catcher. Odds are he doesn't play 4. If he does play 4, odds are he probably doesn't have it in his hand, especially after an N to 2. So you just leave the Squirtle up, which only gives 1 prize. And then Josh will knock that out, he'll go down to 1 prize, and you basically just got a free turn, thanks to Squirtle. So we're going to have an N here. Ross is going to go to 4, Josh will go to 2. This is not a very strong turn for Ross, unless he draws extremely well off of this N to 4. And I don't even know what he'd have to draw here. But we're probably just going to have to see him play Tropical Beach here and pass. Ross is going to take his time, make his decision here. Every turn is so crucial in a Blastoise mirror match. Got a Deluge onto the Keldeo EX. And this may be where a Pokemon Catcher could buy Ross some time, but he almost doesn't want this Black Kyurem EX to leave the active spot, because he needs to knock that out. That needs to be what he goes after to win. If that thing can sit pretty on the bench and just wait for an EX to come out and then Black Ballista, I mean, 200 damage knocks out every EX. So that's going to be pretty simple. So we're going to see Tropical Beach from Ross, and now we're going to have to see what Josh wants to do here. Now he could do one of 2 things here. First, he could just slash, take the knockout on Squirtle, and we're going to see a superior energy retrieval. He's going to get back 4 water energy. Wow. This is going to be an interesting spot for Josh. Now he's going to get 4 water. He's definitely going to attach all of those. Probably put 1 on the active and then 3 on the benched Black Kyurem EX. And I think his best bet is actually to Tropical Beach here for 7 fresh cards. He could slash and take the knockout, which is actually what he's going to do. He's making this a very risky game right now. So if Ross can respond with a 7 energy Keldeo this turn, Josh has left himself with no cards. He may just not have a lightning energy next turn to Black Ballista for the game. This is such a risky play from Josh. Ross could very easily win this game still. I think if I'm Josh, I'm definitely taking the Tropical Beach for 7 there. If I set up 2 Black Kyurem EX, there's no way I'm losing this game. That may have been an oversight. Maybe he just thinks there's no way a Keldeo can knock me out. That's just too unlikely. So maybe it is. Maybe if Ross misses, then Josh definitely wins. If Ross doesn't get the knockout this turn, Josh easily just uses Black Ballista and wins the game next turn. But if Ross hits, if he hits 5 more energy this turn, he can deluge all of them onto Keldeo EX and Secret Sword. He'll take down this Black Kyurem EX, and it's just going to come down to 1 turn. Does Josh have a lightning energy in his hand? What is that 1 card and the top card of his deck? If he has 1 more lightning energy, he'll win the game with a Black Ballista. Now, maybe there's something I don't know. Maybe Josh is saying this is an easy play, because if he has 2 lightning energy prized and he knows for sure he's going to get 1 from the prizes, that's just a simple play. He knows he's going to win because he'll have the lightning energy in his hand for the next turn. But unless that's the case, this is a very risky maneuver. So what's Ross going to do here? First of all, does he have 4 water energy in the discard pile? Looks like he does. So he'll have the superior energy retrieval, it looks like. And yes, he does have 1 in his hand. He'll be able to get 4 water energy back from the discard pile, discard 2 cards with that, and then put 4 energy onto Keldeo EX. Get that big Secret Sword for 190 damage, knock out Black Kyurem EX in 1 hit, and Josh will have 1 turn to win the game, basically. There's a superior energy retrieval. Discards 2 water to get back 4. There were 4 more in the discard, so that's fine. And that is 1 big Keldeo. Boy, this is just going to come down to this next turn. Can Josh get the Black Ballista off to win? This is going to be huge. We're going to see a Secret Sword for 190 damage. Oh man, does Josh have it? He actually promotes Squirtle here. Does he draw it? I don't think he has it. But another thing here. Ross discarded 2 Pokemon Catcher off of his Juniper, but he has the Pokemon Catcher, the 3rd one, in his hand. And Ross somehow steals a game from Josh on a little bit of an oversight from Josh there, I think. Wow. I can't believe Ross actually won that game. That is incredible. And Ross is going to be up 1-0 in this series. I mean, it just came down to whether or not Josh had that last lightning energy, and he didn't. And that's all it takes. You know, a Keldeo EX with 7 energy on it. It's going to run through 2 EXs in 2 turns. And that's exactly what happened there. Nothing else to say there. Just needed a lightning, didn't have it, that was it. So you can see kind of how fickle this mirror matchup is. If you miss just 1 turn of attacking at the wrong time, you're going to end up losing. But it is a best 2 out of 3. There are 2 games left potentially. The first player to win 2 games wins the round. So Josh could very easily win the next 2 games. That was definitely an action-packed first game. Very exciting. And we'll see what Ross does in the second game, if he can close out this series 2-0, or if Josh can start to make a comeback here. He was just 1 attack away from closing that game out, and he couldn't get that last one. So, of course, Josh did lose the first game, so that means he could choose to go first in the second game. We'll have to wait in suspense and see, will he go first in the second game? Or will he allow Ross to play first? What do you guys think? Will Josh decide to play first or second? I'm not sure myself. But these players do shuffle up here. These guys are both 4-0 at this point. This is going to be a big round to see who goes 5-0. A big step towards making the top 8. And the winner of this tournament gets a lot of stuff. First place gets a whole case of the newest set, Plasma Blast. A 15th anniversary Pikachu collection. A nice spiffy trophy declaring you the winner of the Klaczynski Open. And last but not least, you get an invitation to the 2014 Top Cut Invitational. Now that prize is priceless. You get to play with the best of the best. Players like Jason Kaczynski, we'll have Ryan Sablehouse, our winner of the 2013 Top Cut Invitational. We'll have Sugiyoshi Yamato probably. You know, all these great players who have played in the past. People like Sammy Sakum. You will join them. Any player in this tournament has the opportunity to do that. So now both players are going to shuffle up and draw 7 cards this game. Looks like both players have a basic. Josh happens to have 3 of them. And we'll see who goes first. I don't know. Both players put up their prizes. And we're going to get ready here for game number 2. Looks like we got Black Kyurem EX, Keldeo EX, and Squirtle. So nice start for Josh. Ross actually opted to start with Squirtle and Keldeo. It's kind of funny. Oh, that's not funny though. Josh plays an energy and passes his turn. Uh-oh. He may not have anything to work with this game. Now, it's kind of funny. Against a Blastoise deck, when they just attach an energy and pass, it means one of 2 things. Number 1, they have a dead hand. Number 2, they have a monster hand, like a Rare Candy and a Blastoise and a Juniper. And they just can't play the Juniper because they have a Rare Candy and a Blastoise in hand. So I guess we'll find out next turn which one it is. Is it a monster or is it going to be a pass? Alright, so we do see a level ball from Ross here. He's going to go ahead and search through his deck. Probably grab a second Squirtle, but he's going to check to see what's prized, see how many Pokemon catchers are in there, how many energy retrievals are in there, see how many Squirtles he has, etc., etc. Of course, Ross is going to use his first search take a look at every single thing in his deck, see what's prized. It's making my job tough. Got to fill a lot of downtime here. Of course, Ross, we like to poke fun at him for being kind of a slow player. Sometimes he definitely pushes the boundaries of what is considered legal play. One time we were at a city championship, and Ross was in +3 turns of time, and he played a Skyla. And I had Ben Potter sitting there timing his turn. And he played a Skyla and he searched through his deck. And it took him, no joke, 7 minutes to complete a Skyla to search for a trainer card. And the judges allowed it because it was in +3 turns. Alright, we got an N from Ross, so he's probably thinking the same thing. Either your hand is a monster or you got nothing. Maybe he had some read on Josh where he wants to play the N. But honestly, Ross didn't have much either. So he's just going to play the N, try to be the first one to try to draw more cards here. Maybe you can get a Tropical Beach in play. And, well, draw some more cards, get that turn 2 Blastoise first. Well, get the turn 2 Blastoise. Get one in play before Josh can. Now both players are going to shuffle in and draw 6. Hopefully Josh gets a better hand if he had a bad one. We'd like to see a close competitive game here in the second one. And what is Ross going to do here? He's going to bench a second Keldeo EX. Does not look like he got a Tropical Beach off of that N.
Attention everyone, we have a winner.
Looks like he's going to rush in. Looks like we got our winner for the 14 and under event.
In second place after an undefeated Swiss record is Joey
Looks like
Rudiger.
second place we got Joey Rudiger. It's one of the best junior players we have around. Took second place here at the Klaczynski Open, so congrats to Joey. Is that a Jirachi EX? I look away for 1 second and I see a Jirachi EX.
One case of boosters for everyone as prizes.
Sorry, I'm being distracted here by the announcements here for the winners for the 14 and under.
First place in the 14 and under tournament.
See who the champion is.
Schmansky. Everyone give it up.
Alex Schmansky, your 14 and under winner. All right. So congrats to Alex. Well, we got a game here. Looks like Josh played. My eyes do not deceive me. We are seeing a Jirachi EX from Josh. We're seeing stellar guidance to search for a supporter there. Looks like we got a Rare Candy and a Blastoise and 2 water on a Black Kyurem. It looks like we got a Slash for 60. So a very strong turn 2. Wow. Now, I'm assuming he's left himself with a supporter there. So the Jirachi for the Skyla for the Rare Candy is actually pretty cool. It makes your turn 2 Blastoise a little more likely. You know, your Ultra Ball and your Level Ball turns into a way to search out Jirachi EX. But of course, this is going to be a big liability throughout the game. At any point, Ross could catch that Jirachi EX out and take 2 prizes on it, because it's only got 90 HP. In fact, he can even attack with Blastoise and knock that out, which is very scary. He can use a 1 prize attacker to take 2 prizes on the Jirachi EX. So that's going to be what he looks for as like his win condition late in the game. When he gets down to 2 prizes, he's going to be looking to say, all right, I'm just going to catch a Jirachi, good game. It only takes a 3 energy Secret Sword, a Hydro Pump, pretty much anything can knock out that Jirachi EX. I think Squirtle might even give it a run for its money. But it definitely helped Josh get a turn 2 Blastoise. Can't deny that. Now Ross, once again, is forced to play an N here, which has given Josh an opportunity to just redraw a fresh hand after what seemed to be, the first one didn't seem to be a very good hand, and the second one was just a 1-card hand. So Ross, being forced to play these Ns here, definitely giving Josh more cards to work with, and it looks like it might bite him here. Josh has already got a Blastoise in play. He's got 3 energy in play. He'll probably be able to Black Ballista next turn. With the current situation, if he gets 3 water energy, he would actually rush in with Keldeo EX, Secret Sword for 110 damage, and then retain his energy on the Black Kyurem EX. Since there's already 60 damage on the Keldeo EX from a slash, the 3 energy Secret Sword from Josh's Keldeo would knock out Ross's. So there are a lot of options opening up here. So now we're just waiting on Ross. Not the first time I've said that. Man, I gotta stop myself. All right. So what's Ross gonna do? You're setting some cards aside. That'll be either for an Ultra Ball or computer search. Looks like an Ultra Ball. And what's he gonna get rid of? Looks like he's taking back the Ultra Ball. And Josh is saying, nope, that hit the discard, buddy. You better play that. Which is correct. You know, you play the card in the discard pile, you are playing it. You are forced to play that card. There should be no argument about that. When a card hits the field, it is played. And your opponent is not a bad sport for saying you played the card. You did play the card. And we're going to see a Blastoise here. But wow, Ross discarded 2 superior energy retrieval. Oh man, that is brutal in this mirror matchup. I got to say Josh is at a huge advantage now. Superior energy retrieval is your life in this matchup. That is your way to get back energy. And when you discard 2 of those early on, you need all of those in this matchup to keep refueling Black Ballista. That's going to be brutal. Can Ross actually keep up in this game now that there are 2 gone? So now we have a Skyla. What is Josh going to take here? Looks like a Pokemon catcher. But what is he going to go for with this? Is he going to continue his strategy of just going after Blastoise and Squirtle? It was effective in the first game, but I don't know if you're in a position where you want to do that this game. Now he's actually going to catcher the Keldeo EX that has the 2 energy on it already, which is actually, it might seem like a kind of a waste because you could just knock out the active one. You might Skyla for something else. But it's actually kind of nice because what's going to happen is now that Keldeo EX with 60 damage on it is just kind of there the rest of the game, ready to be secret sorted for just 3 energy for the knockout. However, Josh is opening himself up to that dreaded catcher onto his own Blastoise. That definitely could be a problem if Ross can get a monster turn next turn. We are going to see a deluge onto the active Black Kyurem EX. Curious as to why Josh decided to put a lightning on the benched one when he could have just put another energy on the active and then just kind of said, all right, if you go after my Blastoise, I still have a play this turn. I only need to attach 1 more time. It's a Black Ballista again. But Ross is going to need a huge turn in order to knock out Josh's Blastoise. He's going to need a Pokemon catcher and then 5 energy, one way or another. Either 5 water energy to Secret Sword or 4 water and a lightning and then a Black Kyurem EX. He can retreat the Squirtle and then Black Ballista for 200 on the Blastoise. But if he doesn't take out the Blastoise here, I mean, Josh is still in a fantastic position. Now we do have a computer search for an N for Ross. Both players will now shuffle in. Ross will draw 6. Josh will draw 4. Ross is just trying to slow Josh down now. But I don't know how effective it's going to be. There's a lot of energy in play still. You know, there's a lot of superior energy retrieval still in Josh's deck. So, I don't know. Josh really is at a huge advantage this turn. Especially with Ross only having 6 cards to work with this turn. There's no way I mean, like, no way he can knock out Josh's Blastoise now. He would need a perfect 6 cards. And if he doesn't knock out the Blastoise, Josh is in great shape. He'll be able to drop more energy on the board. You know, maybe he can get a Secret Sword next turn. That would be the best thing to do. Get an attacker that can retain its energy now. Secret Sword, if you can get another catcher up that Keldeo on the bench, Secret Sword it for 2 more prizes. That would probably be your best bet. What can Ross do here, though? He's going to have a heavy ball. He may search for a Black Kyurem EX. If he has a rare candy, he might take a second Blastoise. And looks like a Black Kyurem EX. He's probably going to put that down on the bench. But yeah, anything can happen. If the first game showed us anything, no lead is safe in this matchup. Just one fully powered Keldeo EX can turn the tides and a timely N, or your opponent's just missing a turn of something. So Ross will put that Black Kyurem EX down on the bench. And another pass. How has nobody played a Tropical Beach yet? Between them, there are 6 copies in their decks. Ross plays 3 for sure. I think Josh plays at least 3. He may even play 4. How has nobody put a Tropical Beach into play yet? This makes no sense to me. We're going to see a Skyla from Josh and a Pokemon catcher. Oh, man. He must have hit some good cards off of that end. Only got 4 cards. Probably a superior energy retrieval. Now, what is he going to go after? There's a superior energy retrieval. Discards 2 Ultra Balls. Those are nice cards to get rid of at this point. 3 water back from the discard pile. What will Josh target down with this Pokemon catcher? Alright, he's powering up the Black Kyurem. Looks like he's going to go for Ross's Black Kyurem. I don't mind this play at all. Now go down to 2 prizes. Take away Ross's simplest way to knock out his active. Ross doesn't have many energy in his discard pile, so a superior energy retrieval is actually going to be very difficult for him. And wow, we're even going to see, again, Josh is all in with Blastoise. Just discarding his hand down to 0. And we're going to see a Black Ballista for 400 damage on that Black Kyurem EX because they're weak to themselves. They're weak to Dragon type. And Josh is living on his prizes and his top deck. Ross almost drew a card before promoting a Pokemon. Not a huge deal, but it actually does make a difference. You're supposed to promote a Pokemon first and then draw your card, since drawing your card could give you some knowledge as to make a different play. But we're going to see a Juniper here. He just discarded like 5 supporters with that Juniper. But he had no choice. He needs to make something happen right now. Or else. Josh is ahead of 4 prizes now. But somehow there's just no Tropical Beach in play. Josh could fizzle out. Normally it's tough to fizzle out from this big of a lead in a Blastoise match because you always have that Tropical Beach at your disposal. If you draw a bad hand, you just go, Tropical Beach. I'll draw until I have 7 cards. And now next turn, you're going to need another N or something to disrupt me. Otherwise, I have a fresh hand of 7. And I'm going to knock you out. But there's no Tropical Beach in play somehow. And there's still no Tropical Beach in play. Ross obviously would not want to put it in play now and give Josh an opportunity to draw some cards. And now we're at another point. What does Josh do here? What does he have in his hand? Does he have a supporter? Does he have a Tropical Beach? He's putting a Lightning onto the Black Kyurem EX. Now, he had an option to rush in with his Keldeo EX. And, Josh actually asks if he can rearrange his energy for the turn, and Ross actually lets him take it back. Ross, traditionally a player who does not let players take moves back. He's very strict about rules. And he actually let Josh take his energy attachment back and attach it to the bench Black Kyurem EX. I am a little surprised, I'll be honest. Maybe Josh let him fix the Ultra Ball first, I don't know. So these guys are pretty friendly. They've played each other several times. They know each other. There's no bad blood here. But it is kind of a rivalry. These guys, I believe they've played twice in tournaments. 1 game apiece for each player. And I'm sure both of them would love to have the advantage in their matchup. And obviously both would love to go 5-0 here at the Klaczynski Open. So even though Ross did let Josh take back that energy attachment, you know, this tournament is a very nice atmosphere. It's a competitive tournament, no question about it. But it is also a really fun, friendly environment. Fairly lighthearted considering, I mean, the amount of prizes on the line. Everybody here is having fun. Everybody's here to play Pokemon. That's what this event is all about. The first independent major Pokemon tournament in the history of the Pokemon TCG. That is what's happening here today in Tinley Park, Illinois. It's an awesome thing to see. So we see a regular energy retrieval. And double Deluge onto the Keldeo EX. And another Juniper. Jeez, another superior energy retrieval goes down. For Ross, it's basically this Keldeo or bust for Ross. That's 3 superiors gone, 1 regular energy retrieval gone. He only has 1 superior left. So this Keldeo with 60 damage on it is going to have to go the distance. Can he do it, though? Well, first of all, he doesn't even have a knockout this turn. And attacking with that 60 damage Keldeo EX is so risky. But Ross does have the 4th superior energy retrieval in his hand. Does he have more water in his discard pile? If he can, he may decide to catch her out that Keldeo EX. That is the 2 water on it. That is what's standing in his way here from just kind of rushing in and attacking. If Josh has 1 more water energy, he just wins with Secret Sword on that heavily damaged Keldeo EX. But it looks like Ross is just going to go for it. Oh, nope, he's going to trick me, fake me out. A Russian retreat. And is he going to superior energy retrieval this turn? I wonder what he's got in store. Ross is throwing me all sorts of curveballs here. I don't know what's going to happen next. All right. So, looks like a pass. Can Josh top deck out of this? Ross is giving him ample opportunity to do so. Oh, there's the Tropical Beach. That is a huge top deck for JWittz here. He's going to fill his hand back up to 7. Ross has already played 3 or 4 ends this game, and it's just a matter of time before JWittz ties this series up, I think. That was such a big top deck. Can Ross do anything here? He's definitely going to need an N. The problem is he's down 4 prizes, and Josh could definitely just take 2 more prizes to win the game. He just needs to attack that Keldeo EX on the bench 1 more time, and he'll win the game. All right, so looks like Josh is calling a judge over. I'm not really sure what's happening. I didn't see anything going wrong here. Not sure what the argument is here. Oh. I think Josh wants to go to the bathroom. Yeah, looks like Josh had an emergency here. He can't hold it any longer, folks. And he's going to run to the bathroom here for a minute. So, we don't see this very often, but 75 minutes for a best 2 out of 3 match. Like, sometimes you just got to go. So, no shame in calling a judge over and saying, I got to run to the bathroom. But pretty funny to see. Funny story. Back in 2005 at the U.S. National Championships, Sina Gazieska, the national champion for that year, was playing against a player, and in the top 8 of that tournament, he really had to go to the bathroom, and he couldn't hold it anymore. And he called the judge and said, can I run to the bathroom? I really have to go. And the judges said, you can go, but if you go, then you can no longer win on time. You have to take all of your prizes, or else you're going to lose on time because you decided to go to the bathroom. And so Sina, he could not hold it. He still ran to the bathroom, He made it back, and he took all 6 prizes, and he won, and he went on to become the national champion. But his opponent easily could have stalled him out, and Cena could have lost to a bathroom break. But he didn't, and the rest is history. All right, so Josh is back. Looks like I wonder if he washed his hands. I don't think I want to know. All right, Ross's turn will resume here. And we're going to have a Skyla. All sorts of things happening at the Klaczynski Open. Oh, man. It's been a long day. This is going to be our last round of the day. Hopefully, this is going to be a nice ending to our first day of Swiss. What is Ross going to Skyla for here? Honestly, I think the Skyla here is almost a death sentence. And a Skyla for an Ultra Ball certainly seems pretty bad. Because Josh had just used Tropical Beach. His hand is now up to 7 cards. And you got to think Josh has a Water Energy and a Pokemon Catcher at least to bring out that Keldeo EX and Secret Sword for the game. Now, the only way Ross could really win this game still is if he could catcher out Josh's Blastoise. Secret Sword it with his own Keldeo. And I think that's exactly what Ross is going to go for here. He has his 4th and final Superior Energy Retrieval in hand here. He's going to discard 2 cards here, get back those 4 Water Energy, and this is it. This Keldeo most certainly is it. I thought the other one was it. This is it. The last attacker for Ross. So he's going to get 4 Water Energy back. Deluge, 1, 2, 3, 4. And Pokemon Catcher, the Blastoise. Now Josh has no option to Deluge any longer. And Ross is going to go ahead and Secret Sword the Blastoise for 150 damage. Take the knockout there. And now Josh is stuck with a tough decision. He doesn't have a Blastoise in play, so he cannot use Deluge Display to power up Black Kyurem EX. Now what he can do is Pokemon Catcher the Bench Keldeo EX and Secret Sword for the win. He also has a couple options. First one is going to be, if he just attaches to the active Black Kyurem EX and uses Slash for 60, now both Keldeo EX have 60 damage on them, and it just takes a Secret Sword with 3 water on Keldeo EX, and the game's over. And it'll be kind of a catch-22. No matter what Ross will do then, Josh will have an answer. If he knocks out the Keldeo, say, oh, you could just get a Water and Secret Sword, then Black Kyurem EX will have 3 energy. Just takes 1 more, he can Black Ballista for the game. If he knocks out the Black Kyurem EX, it just takes 1 Water Energy, and we can see a Secret Sword for the win. So we see an Ultra Ball here. We're going to see, a 3rd Black Kyurem EX. Josh does play 3 of those in his deck, apparently. So it's more heavily focused on Black Kyurem EX. Ross only plays 2. Josh plays 3. Does Josh have the Pokemon Catcher and the Water Energy here, though? This is going to be close. Now, if he has something like a Superior Energy Retrieval, I think Josh may have already wrapped the game up. It's not completely over, but looks like he's going to attach to the Keldeo on the bench. And what is he going to do here? Looks like he's got a Juniper. All right, he's going to go for the win, folks. If he can hit that Pokemon Catcher, he wins the game right here. At the very least, he can rush in and Secret Sword for 110, and then just set up for a Slash for the win next turn. I don't know. What's he going to do? Looks like he missed the Pokemon Catcher. I don't think he would slow roll that. Now, an interesting choice here. What will he do? Will he rush in and Secret Sword for 110, leaving it in Slash range? Or will he Tropical Beach and try to hit a Blastoise and then just say, well, Ross would need a Catcher and an Energy to knock out my Keldeo. I'll just Tropical Beach this turn and draw more cards. Which one is he going to go with? Normally, I would say just do Tropical Beach, but in this situation, I might actually be in favor of just hitting for 110 here, and then you just have a Slash for the win next turn. Now, it does make N a very dangerous option. If you get N to 2 and don't draw an energy, Ross could make another huge comeback. Do I see a Hypnotoxic Laser in Josh's hand? Does he play that in his Blastoise deck? Or is that a different blue card? I don't tell me that's a laser. It won't have any purpose here, but... Alright, so we are going to see the Secret Sword for 110 damage. Can Ross prevent the knockout next turn? If he uses Secret Sword with the active Keldeo EX, Josh could just get 1 energy and slash for 60 and win the game. And Ross is actually just going to scoop up his cards. He sees the writing on the wall. We're going to save time. Go to game number 3. One more match. One more game. Josh JWittz is going to take game number 2, and we're going to head to a final deciding game number 3 for round number 5 on the final day of the Klaczynski Open 2013. This match can go either way. Honestly, it felt like both games, Josh had the major advantage throughout this match. And, you know, first game, Ross stole the win. I think we can all probably agree on that. Ross definitely stole the game from Josh. Josh was leading that the whole way. So I don't know, is Josh going to continue his trend here? Continue setting up strongly with Blastoise? Or will Ross going first now have enough of an advantage to be the one who strikes first and take down Josh? I don't know, this is a battle of the Titans here, that is for sure. 2 of the biggest names in the Pokemon TCG. Which one is going to come out on top here and emerge as one of the few undefeated players after the first day of the Klaczynski Open? I just want to say thanks to everybody who's tuning in right now to watch this live. All your support is very greatly appreciated. These events like this, you know, the Klaczynski Open is the first major independent tournament of its kind. Over 100 people showed up to this event. It was run by Jason Klaczynski, 3-time world champion. He made this tournament with his own money on his own free time. Pretty much by himself, he put this tournament together just so that the Pokemon TCG would finally have an independent tournament. You know, it's been a long time coming. Other card games like Magic the Gathering have Star City games, and they have these tournaments going on all the time outside of the regular tournament circuit. Pokemon desperately needs this if it wants to grow, so all of your support for this event is greatly appreciated. And if this event succeeds, maybe another one happens, and then maybe another one happens. And before you know it, maybe we have a full-on tournament circuit like this for the Pokemon TCG. It would be awesome to see. I would love to be able to stream more events like this, have more events like this. It's really cool to see all these people. We have players from 20 states here coming to Chicago for this tournament. And this is just going to be one of these great matches we have here. Final game here between Ross Cawthon and Josh Wittenkeller. Which guy is going to take home this victory? Which Blastoise player will have the last laugh? All right, Ross is going first here in game number 3. He has a Black Kyurem EX active and a Keldeo EX on the bench. It is 75 minutes for Swiss, best 2 out of 3. So even though, you know, I'm not even going to say it, there is a lot of time left. All right. Oh, wow. That was a terrible Juniper for Ross. If you're Josh, you got to be fist pumping after that one. That was 2 superior energy retrieval and a regular energy retrieval. Just hit the discard there. Wow. That is a stunning turn 1. This is why a lot of players dislike Professor Juniper in Blastoise. There are so many times where you just have to discard Rare Candy, Blastoise. You have to discard superior energy retrieval. And it's just ugly Junipers like that that ruin your game. Later in the game, you just won't have those energy to attack to win the game. And we saw players like James Good at the World Championships this year actually only play 3 Professor Juniper in his deck because of this kind of a thing. So we're going to have an Ultra Ball here from Josh. He's going to discard a Catcher and a Superior Energy Retrieval. Let's see what he gets with this Ultra Ball. I would assume we'll see a Squirtle. Now, I'm not sure how good Ross's hand was beyond that Juniper. If he gets a rare candy, Blastoise, turn 2 Black Ballista, he's going to be fine. Even with discarding those superior energy retrievals, he's going to be fine. He'll have such a lead in this game. But if he doesn't have a strong start, if they're kind of on even footing, and Josh just has more resources throughout the game, then obviously the advantage goes to Josh. All right, so we see an Ultra Ball for Squirtle here. Interesting to note, the A-Spec choices for both players. I don't actually think we've seen Josh's played yet, but I did see it as he was shuffling. Ross actually plays Computer Search, as we saw. Kind of the standard A-Spec for most decks. And Josh plays the brand new one, Scoop Up Cyclone, which is basically like Super Scoop Up, but you don't have to flip. You return the Pokemon and all attached cards to your hand. So a contrast of styles here. I'm sure Scoop Up Cyclone can win you incredible games. Just scooping up a Keldeo with a bunch of energy and then replaying it, deluging all the energy back on. That is brutal. But in the Blastoise mirror match, things rarely get knocked down in 2 hits. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Josh has nothing. Oh, no. Josh has 2 Squirtle on the bench. He did not play a supporter. He has 1 card in his hand. Oh, boy. So can Ross capitalize here? He's got that Computer Search in his hand, so I'm going to say yes. So it looks like Ross may be able to get something good off of this Computer Search. And Josh just has nothing. He's in top deck mode. No supporter, no Tropical Beach, no nothing. No energy attachment even. He decided to Ultra Ball away 2 energy. But as I was saying with the Scoop Up Cyclone, that's going to be huge in other matchups like Darkrai, like Plasma. Things that don't knock you out in 1 hit. That card is actually a monster to just scoop up an entire Pokemon, and then you can relay it down, and then use Blastoise's Deluge to just reattach all the energy. It's basically like a max potion, but you don't have to discard your energy. In this matchup, though, it's not going to do anything, because you're pretty much always being knocked out in 1 hit. So what's Ross going to get here? He's playing, I don't know what he's played yet, actually. It looks like a Heavy Ball. Oh, maybe he was going for Jirachi EX. It's not something that crossed my mind. If he went for Jirachi EX and it was prized, oh man, that's brutal. He could have Ultra Balled for Jirachi EX to get a supporter and then play a Juniper and then get a good start. But the Jirachi EX may have been prized here and he just wasn't able to get it. His fail-safe. Being able to Ultra Ball for a Jirachi when you have a supporterless hand, it's going to make your deck a lot more consistent. And in this situation, it just wasn't able to happen. So now Ross does get the turn to Rare Candy Blastoise. And we're going to see a Chorus for 5. We also see a Lightning on the active. Not too likely we're going to see a Black Ballista this turn. Maybe a Slash. But still, this is going to put a ton of pressure on Josh. Things are not looking good for the JWittz here. Does not look like he's going to come out on top in this one. Anything can happen, though. A top deck here or there. Maybe hitting a Juniper could certainly happen. But unless he top decks probably this turn, he's going to be in so much trouble. So there is the Deluge onto Black Hero EX. And we're going to have a Slash for 60. Never thought I'd see Slash used so often in competitive games. Usually you're attacking with Black Ballista if you're going to attack with Black Hero EX. And Josh, he's going to pass his turn. We were hoping for an epic Game 3 here. Does not look like we're going to get it. Looks like Ross is just going to slowly bowl over Josh's field. And just with some black ballistas, maybe with some secret swords, we're going to see an ugly game 3 where Ross looks like he's going to come out on top. So he does play a Skyla for a Professor Juniper. Doesn't seem to have much else in his hand. Is he actually not going to be able to Black Ballista? He's going to have to slash twice? That is absurd. So now we can see a triple slash maybe from Ross for a knockout on a Keldeo EX. I have not seen 3 slashes in a row uncontested before. So now we see the 4th energy come on to Black Hiram EX. And instead of playing the Juniper, Ross actually decides to play a Skyla here. Wonder what he's going to Skyla for. Looks like he's going to take a Pokemon catcher. Maybe just target down a Squirtle this turn with Slash. I wonder what he's doing there. He may be better off just taking the 2 prizes, but it looks like he may play the catcher for a Squirtle. Or maybe he's just taking it with the Skyla. He may not even play it this turn. Yeah, he's just going to Slash the active. Ross will knock out that Keldeo EX. Can Josh draw a miracle here? He's going to catch out a Blastoise. You know, force Ross to have 2 energy to rush in and retreat with Keldeo EX. Not a bad move. You know, making the best of what he has, which isn't much, unfortunately. And will Ross be able to attack this turn? You know, if he can get 2 water energy or a water and a lightning, he can rush in and retreat. Just deluge onto the Keldeo EX. And then probably Slash for a knockout. And then he's going to have 1 turn. Josh is just going to have 1 turn to top deck. Here we go. Here's the Juniper. Big turn here. Discards a lot of supporters, actually. Does he get 2 energy in order to retreat here? I don't think I saw him. Oh, I did see him. There's a lightning and a water. Never mind. So yeah, we're going to see a rush in, we're going to see a retreat, and we're going to see a Slash from Black Hiram EX. Of course, Ross does have the Blastoise in play. He can attach multiple energy if they're water energy. Oh, he's even got a 3rd one. So he can rush in, Secret Sword for 90 damage, knocking out the Squirtle. And from here, I think Josh is just done for. He does have an Ultra Ball. He has a Keldeo EX. He can rush in. He's going to pass. This is an insurmountable lead. Poor Josh. Just could not draw anything in this 3rd game. And the Jirachi EX is prized, I'm pretty sure. I don't think he would have overlooked that. So yeah, basically Ross, you know, if he had a catcher this turn, he'd just catch or Squirtle. Next turn, just Black Ballista. And he would win the game. Otherwise, he could just, honestly, he could just Secret Sword for 90. It doesn't even matter. Or, obviously, he can retreat and Black Ballista. But if he does that, and Josh top decks an N, he would go down to 1 card. There's no Tropical Beach in play. He would be down to, what? He'd be down to just 2 energy and play 1 on each Pokemon. So this is a fair bit of a risk here for Ross. You know, not a huge risk. Obviously, Josh would have to top deck an N to even make this possible. Oh, and then Ross puts out a Tropical Beach. So this has absolutely no risk. Might as well just do this now. We're going to see a Black Ballista. Here comes the Squirtle. Tropical Beach. A little bit too late. And Josh can't even play it down anymore. And Josh is just going to extend the hand, scoop up his cards, and Ross Cawthon, there is the Jirachi EX and the prizes. Oh my goodness. Jirachi, you let JWittz down. Shame on you, Jirachi. He gave you a shot, and you hit out in the prizes. Well, Ross is going to move on to 5-0 here at the Klaczynski Open to end day number 1. He's going to, get another victory over Josh here. That was an exciting series, the first 2 games. The third game, not so much. But hats off to Josh for an excellent series there. He'll still be 4-1, so he'll still be just fine in this tournament. But that's going to wrap up coverage from day number 1 at the Klaczynski Open 2013 here from Tinley Park, Illinois. We have most of the other matches are going on right now. But Ross, of course, is 5-0 here. Picked up the big victory with Blastoise. It'll be interesting to see what decks actually come out on top here. The first major tournament we have with Plasma Blast. The new format, next Destinies through Plasma Blast. We have new cards, new format, rotation. Exciting stuff going on here. And I'm excited to see how the rest of the tournament plays out. But that's going to wrap up coverage here from day number 1. I am Pooka here from the Top Cut. We'll have day 2 tomorrow. It'll be rounds 6 and 7. And then the top 8 will play out fully tomorrow on Sunday. So hope to see you guys there tomorrow. I may stick around to update who's 5-0 after today, but that's going to be the last match we have covered today. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope to see you tomorrow. Please get on Twitter, Facebook, hashtag KO2013. Hold on, I got to load my hashtag here. That one right there. Spread the word about this. Hopefully we can have some great games tomorrow. And see you guys for the conclusion of this tournament. So take care, everybody. See you tomorrow.